Since I became fatigued from playing Street Fighter V online, and with people speculating about the potential Street Fighter 6, I needed something else to really satisfy my Street Fighter hunger. I was cruising around the internet for new fighting games to try out when I found out about Street Fighter All-Stars. There may be a whole underground Mugen library of Street Fighter games, but this one stood out, maybe because it was actually advertised in a YouTube video I stumbled across. Long story short, I wanted to try the game out, and after a few days of tinkering with some of the characters, I found myself enjoying the game based on how fluid it felt and the things you can do with these characters. So I figured, hell, why not try to make some of these primers on all the things I found out about these characters? I'm not saying that I know everything. Most of the frame data and possible combo route has yet to be discovered. I just wanted to have fun and expand this game's awareness for other people who don't know. These videos are more so fun rather than informative, so I encourage you to tell me in the comments any more additional information, should I seem to have forgotten anything. And lastly, I mostly want to discuss the more interesting changes and aspects of these characters, and we'll be referencing their canon counterparts. Today we're going to be looking at Ryu. As for his normals and specials, it's what you expect out of Ryu if you ever play Street Fighter, so I won't really go over him that much. Collarbone Breaker and Solar Plexus are still here. Solar Plexus particularly has slight combo potential. And the damage from the EX Tatsu Ender isn't half bad either. You can even link supers if you're precise enough. A neat return for Ryu is his Jodan Sokuragiri, or Donkey Kick, and the Hadoken feint. Similar to the Donkey Kick and Third Strike, it can be comboed into either medium button. Similar to the Donkey Kick and Third Strike, it can be comboed into either medium button except for the heavy version. But in this game, it can also be comboed in from a heavy button. An EX will always wall bounce the opponent, which will no doubt lead into further combos and into your supers. The talent is the same motion as the regular Hadoken, except it's with the start button. This doesn't actually throw out a fireball, but it will play the animation as if he was about to. This addition may be arguably negligible, but I feel it's nice to give someone like Ryu something to catch the opponent off guard with. I actually want to discuss how supers work in this game compared to traditional Street Fighter. In this game, you don't only do the input, but you also press the buttons depending on the level of super. So for example, Ryu's level 1 super requires you to input the motion with the same kind of corresponding button. His level 2 super requires you to do the motion with two same kind of buttons. And with level 3 super, requires him to do an input with all three of the same kind of buttons. I'll be ordering the supers by meter usage. His first super is the classic Shinku Hadoken. It's a big, fast 5-hitting super move. It deals roughly 17% on its own, which sounds super weak on paper, but keep in mind, you'll most likely be comboing into this move, so the damage won't seem as miserable. His second super is his Shinku Tatsumaki. It's an 8-hit Tatsu that sucks in your opponent. It deals slightly above 25% of your opponent's health bar. No matter if the super hits or is blocked, it will force the opponent to switch sides. This can be useful when you're in the corner to quickly escape pressure at minimum and dish out some massive damage at most. It's a really good super and arguably the best of the three in terms of damage and positioning. His last super is his Shin Shoryuken. A 4-hit Shoryuken that deals half your opponent's health bar. It really should be that, considering that you're dumping all your meter in one move. With how much of an investment is in both meter-wise, and should you whiff it, I think it's more of a detriment rather than a viable super outside of a Rage Art combo. While on the topic of Rage Arts is a new mechanic introduced in this game. By pressing both Hard Punch and Hard Kick, you'll perform a character-specific move at the cost of some health. These moves can be a variety of things, but for Ryu, it's his focus attack from Street Fighter 4. It functions similarly to the focus attack of that game, but it works a lot faster, and the crumple effect works as if you held the attack for its full duration. And while you can't combo it from any button, as far as to my knowledge, you can definitely start one. In fact, you can get some pretty hefty damage from crumple alone. Just look at the damage from one raid chart and half a super meter. To summarize, it's Ryu like you always known and loved, or maybe hated, with one or two bells and whistles to make him stand out. I hope this was at least somewhat insightful, and if I missed anything, feel free to let me know in the comments on combos and applications. Also, shoutouts to Raging Rowan Mugen for making this Mugen, and Bafale for inspiring me to make this video. I'll give you both links to the channels.